Choose to live. Obviously, I'm still in hiding and still in lockdown, just like Jean-Luc Picard, but things may not be as bad as they seem.
Lucky you.
Lucky butterfly indeed. Butterfly in the sky. What might that signify? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to SYFY WIRE's Warp Factor Picard Edition, Episode 10. Engage! For the final time this season, prepare for a mission briefing. Yeah, they can sense my scream. If I'm going down, it ain't gonna be like that. And if I am gonna scream, I'm gonna save it. Anyway, all crew to spoiler stations because we're going where no one has gone before. If you haven't watched the new episode Et in Arcadia Ego Part 2, then shields up and red alert!
You're telling me you want to use those grenades to destroy flowers?
Narek reunites with Narissa and grabs some explosives from the cube. Rios and Raffi repair La Sirena using the mysterious synth device that fixes things via imagination before Narek arrives wanting to join them, followed closely by Elnor. Turns out Narek wants to use the explosives on the higher synth beacon, which Soji continues to build. Jurati goes double agent again, frees Picard, and they go back to La Sirena. Picard takes the captain's chair and gets her in the air just as Soong, having seen proof of Sutra's treachery, helps Raffi and the boys. He deactivates Sutra. Rios, Elnor, and Narek spring to action, but Soji gets in the way. Narissa tries to launch her weapons from the cube, but Seven gets in her way. That's when the Romulan Armada finally arrives with O in command. It's Space Orchids versus Warbirds, while Seven snuffs out Narissa for good. And then Picard and Jurati upgrade the Picard maneuver using the synth imagination gadget. Hundreds of La Sirenas appear as the orchids go down. La Sirena, La Sirena, La Sirena, La Sirena. But then Soji finishes the beacon and a portal opens. O is ready to go, but then Starfleet arrives. Acting Captain Will Riker says the planet is now under Starfleet protection.
And it is my duty to inform you that the United Federation of Planets has designated planet Vulion 4 in the Vite sector as under the protection of Starfleet.
It's a standoff, and that's when Picard's illness decides to say hello. Really good timing. He pleads with Soji to shut the beacon down, and before some dark entity can come entering through it, Soji makes it so. She shuts it down. Good. Very good. O kindly buggers off and Riker leaves the situation in Picard's hands, but then Picard succumbs to his illness after beaming down to the planet. He's gone. He's dead. Adieu. The end. But not really. I mean, come on. Picard wakes up in a massively complex quantum simulation, we've all done that, talking with Data once more, who lets him know that Jurati, Soong, and Soji have indeed transferred Picard's consciousness to a synth body. JL wakes up in this body with no superpowers or immortality. As he promised during their talk, Picard puts Data's consciousness to rest. On La Sirena, Jurati kisses Rios. Raffi gets cozy with Seven. And Soji decides to keep wandering with them thanks to the synth ban being officially lifted. With a final engage from JL, the crew boldly goes once more.
Sukat! His eyes uncovered!
Did the new episode come locked and loaded with references to Trek Past, as well as new canon to enhance the journey? Did Spock get pretty good with colorful metaphors?
Spock, where the hell's the power you promised?
1 damn minute, Admiral.
A big yes to both questions. Sokath, his eyes uncovered! 1 damn minute, Admiral. Narek makes a reference to the legends of Ganmadan, dating back to before his ancestors arrived on Vulcan. This bit of Romulan Vulcan lore ties back to the original series episode Return to Tomorrow, as well as TNG's The Chase and Who Watches the Watchers. Narissa's attempted burn on Seven, only 6 years old, and all she got for her birthday was assimilated. Nice one, Narissa. Is once again a reference to the history of Seven, aka Annika Hansen, being assimilated in the Voyager episode The Raven. Dr. Girardi totally steals Picard's catchphrase of "make it so" before she references the Picard maneuver.
If you figure out a way to get us out of this one, I'll name it after you. Picard maneuver. Wait, no, that's actually a thing, isn't it?
Something she pulled in the TNG episode The Battle and is upgraded in this episode. The Picard maneuver is also what you call the iconic way Patrick Stewart pulls his uniform shirt straight. I do it all the time. The Riker maneuver, we'll get to that another time. The upgraded ass-kicker Starfleet ships and the giant armada look very similar in design to the Enterprise E, and acting Captain Riker being in command is obviously a reference to Riker.
Right now, I'm on the bridge of the toughest, fastest, most powerful ship Starfleet has ever put into service.
Yeah. His name drop of the Treaty of Alderaan comes from the TNG episode The Pegasus, in which a part of that treaty forbade the Federation from using cloaking devices. Riker's former captain ignored that little part of the treaty, and much ado was made, so Riker would be very familiar with that treaty. B4 from Star Trek Nemesis gets another mention, as Data says that his attempted memory transfer in that film was not without merit. It is what made the quantum simulation and that single positronic neuron possible.
Made from a copy of the memories I downloaded into B4 just before I died.
Thank you, B4. That's why I have a furry face, B4. He didn't ask. Data, wishing to have a finite life, is brought up in the TNG episode Time's Arrow, and obviously plays a big part in this episode. Seven and Raffi can be seen playing Calto towards the end of the episode, a Vulcan game that Seven got pretty good at on Voyager. Finally, Picard quoting Shakespeare's The Tempest in his farewell to Data is most fitting.
We are such stuff as dreams are made of. And our little life is rounded with a sleep.
Picard quoted Shakespeare all the time on Next Generation and attempted to teach Data how to perform Henry V in the Season 3 episode The Defector. Also, Patrick Stewart is quite an accomplished Shakespearean actor in real life. You've probably heard. Anyway, for more background on everything in this episode, go back to the Academy and, you know what? Just go watch The Inner Light from TNG Season 5. It's an all-time classic, and the tune that Picard plays on the Ressican flute formed the basis for the new Picard main title theme. It is always worth a watch, even if you've seen it before. It's an entire lifetime's worth of greatness.
Sukat! His eyes uncovered! Let's see how closely I was watching Rios. All right.
Make it so.
Earl Grey never fails. And it did not fail us here. Being a season finale, we weren't light on brilliant scenes. The show was loaded with them. Rios and Seven's talk was incredible, as was the entire scene of Picard getting Soji to stand down, ending with the line, "That's why we're here, to save each other." I really thought that line would take it, and then Data hit the scene and gutted me with the following. I want to live, however briefly.
Knowing that my life is finite. Mortality gives meaning to human life, Captain. Peace, love, friendship. These are precious because we know they cannot endure.
Utterly beautiful. And just goes to show that when the odds are against you and the situation's grim, Earl Grey never fails. Also, sounds like fun.
And now that they've lifted the ban on synthetics, I'm free to travel.
Me too.
The season may be over, but questions still remain. The higher synths are still out there, and the beacon was active for a time. Will they be coming? What about Narek? Not that I care really if he lives or dies. He is growing on me, I have to say. Not Harry Treadaway. I've always loved him. I'm talking about Narek, the guy, the Romulan. He wasn't on La Sirena at the end, thankfully. His dastardly doings are likely far from over. Is Seven fully on the crew now? What would her shipping name with Raffi be? Also, Revan of Nine, Refi, Raffin, Sephi, Seven of Raffi? I don't know. What new worlds and drama await the crew of La Sirena, and what legends might they meet in their travels? We know they're set to see Guinan, but for me personally, there may be one important thread still left dangling, and for viewers of both Picard and this series, you know what I'm talking about. Crusher Watch. Crusher Watch. Not in this season? Fine! Season 2, for sure! You want to make me wait? Fine! I'll wait. I'll wait until Gunmadan if I have to. This is happening. Crusher Watch is still on. Crusher Watch never ends, never ends, never ends. Gunmadan, Gunmadan, Gunmadan. No one said she's dead. No one said it, so right this wrong and put her in season 2. I am going to literally scream until she shows up on this show. That's right. I will scream uninterrupted for an entire year, possibly longer. Here we go. Our hailing frequencies are now open. Last week we asked, is Janna's plan justified? The answers were A, yes, it's time for the synths to take a stand. B, no, it's genocide. Not cool. The overwhelming response was B, no, it's genocide. A lot of viewers also got on the lore train, but as we now know, it was not to be. Soong's just Soong. Soong's got a Soong. He's an acquired taste, like some of the rest of us. I identify. Be sure to check out this week's poll, which can be found on both Twitter and YouTube. Could the higher synths be on their way? The answers are simple. A, no, they don't care. Or B, yes, they're coming. Q-Who style. What's the use in having another poll, you may be asking? It's because we're not going away, that's why. We'll be back for a full season wrap-up next week, and after that, we're really gonna see what's out there. With the synth ban lifted and hostilities at bay, Dave may even join me again. As JL himself once said, the sky's the limit. Until then, a final, yes, final farewell to Data. I don't have access to the EFCMH here, so I'll do it myself. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little lives are rounded with a sleep. We'll see you next week, because
the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Come the day you're mine. Oh, you know, we're gonna continue to make it so. Choose to live.